which is a crowded field, and you really can't. I don't think you get a good fix yet, but so far, I guess Sherm Baker is the front runner, and of course Michael Jackson is up there, certainly as a possible county executive. And I keep wondering about Jaron Levi, who lives here in Bowie and is a delegate and was ran here and did well. Does she have a chance? And in the delegate race, with not only Jaron Levi leaving and now running for the county executive job, does that open it up to someone like Geraldine Smith, who is running also for the House of Delegates?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I would agree that the top three contenders for this county executive are Mr. Baker, Mr. Jackson, and Ms. Jaron Levi. And then there's a passel of people probably on the second tier. And my guess is the top two candidates are going to be Mr. Baker and Mr. Jackson. But it's such a challenge to run a county-wide race with organization and money, and so that's going to be interesting as well. On the delegation race, there's I think 3 or 4 candidates that have applied in the Democratic primary to replace.
Per day.
Yeah, I'm talking about to replace Jaron Levi's seat there, and I think there are several very good candidates. I personally think the one I've seen working the hardest so far is Geraldine Valentino Smith, who's currently on the Bowie City Council. She's very bright, and she's got a pretty good network to start with, and it depends on which one of those candidates can get their message out and animate people. And then, like you said, it all depends on how that primary goes. The governor's race is probably, will that be uncontested, but you got a lot of races inside the 23rd, and you got a lot of races in the county. So if it's a big turnout, it can be fun. You're not going to know until the end of the night how.
Sure. Who does Senator Peters, who obviously will run a ticket?
Yeah.
Who does he pick? Jim Hubbard, Geraldine Smith, or
Nicole Williams, or Lisa Ransom.
Where does he go on that?
You got me. What I understand is he's indicated he's not going to make any announcements or any commitments until after the filing deadline. At some point in time, he's going to have to put together a ticket.
Sure.
He'll have 2 incumbents left on the 23rd with Mr. Holmes and Mr. Hubbard. So it's a question then is, does he just put in a third, or does he do what some others have done in the past? So here's 3 or 4 people, pick 2.
That's been done before.
Oh, sure. What do you think? Any clue to what's coming down in that race? Someone who gets on the ticket certainly gives them some push. Of course, Bobby Henry is still, I think, ready to enter the race because he's calling certain active Democrats about getting on his ticket.
I think this ticket stuff is overrated. I think people have to run their own race, go visit people door to door, and communicate with voters. And maybe the small chattering class will say, well, he's riding with him or she's riding with her, and that makes a difference. But I think for most people, they just want to hear the candidates communicate directly with them and hear their messages and make their decisions.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I think maybe on some races, a lot of people will make up their mind pretty quickly on the county executive race and maybe the senator race and those things. Where that ticket may have some value is further down the line on the ticket, where you might not know a particular the candidate in the sheriff's race or something like that, but you might say, well, the person that I want to vote for senator is encouraging us to vote for this. So if they have no other decision-making criteria, that's where it helps. But I agree with Len that you just got to get out there and just start banging on doors yourself. I still think it's retail politics.
Oh, sure. I believe in the local politics is where it happens. Geraldine goes to Annapolis as a delegate. What do you do with that seat, Fred?
Oh, well, if that happens...
Put it on eBay.
Yeah, put it on eBay.
Or like the guy
was it Angie's List or whatever.
In Chicago, the governor sold the seat.
Yeah, don't let's talk about that. No, what'll happen is, I guess, under the city rules, if a vacancy occurs and there's 12 months left in the term, then the council will appoint a replacement. If it's more than 12 months, we would have to have a special election.
Does she
Or maybe
have
is it
a
12 months or maybe it's 14? I think it's 12.
Does she have a shot?
Oh, I think she has a very good shot. She's clearly bright. She's clearly focused. She's clearly motivated. She's got a good array of local experience. She's gone through 3 budget cycles with the city council. She's been engaged in that.
And she voted right last night.
She voted in the same way. She's voted in the same way that I did, so I consider it right.
She voted right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and that was a tough divide. I mean, the budget this year presented a lot of challenges because we had to come up with a way to make up for the dramatic reductions in state aid over the last 2 years, and at the same time, we want to keep funding for the police department intact. We're going to hire 5 more officers this year to keep that moving.
Will that be the complement then?
This will bring us up to 52, and then the following year, I think we'll bring up to the projected 57. That's what the original plan was.
Still, Mr. Mayor, you've got to be the envy of every mayor in the state to be able to pass a budget this year has a net decrease in taxes,
Exactly.
a high reserve fund, and enhancing public safety. I mean, every other mayor in the state would love to trade places with
It's magic. It's all magic.
And still,
know,
he's
but
absolutely
let me tell
right.
you,
One
yeah.
other thing, with your adjustments, you're still maintaining the AAA bond rating.
That's
and
true.
the city is still in great
Yeah.
fiscal condition, which is
we're fiscally solid, we're
Good.
sure. And one of the reasons that I supported the 2-cent tax increase this year is not only to address these immediate issues, but to try to make sure that at the end of this year, we'll have as many options and alternatives and be as flexible as possible to respond to whatever the condition is at the end of the year and next year. Because you also know we're going to go through that next cycle of assessments, which everybody expects is going to drop a little bit, so the tax base may well drop a little bit. So it's going to be an exciting time, but bottom line is we're doing pretty well right now.
Still, 5 years ago, when they talked about the new police department and they had the question on the ballot, the assumption was that everyone would experience a net tax
About 10
increase
cents. Yeah.
of an increase, that everyone, knowing that, still voted for it. And so you came through with the police department, but you didn't come through with the tax
Right.
increase.
Well, we're continuing
Yeah,
to
that's
expand the
amazing.
tax
That's
base,
terrific.
and I
It is
think
good.
we're doing
That
pretty
is great.
well.
And I can recall you ran push the police department, which is great. And you were a lonely city official on that. You were all alone pushing it,
Yeah.
which is also good. But with both those nice things, we're going to have to wrap it up. And I truly believe that it's great to talk about these things, and we'll know probably within the hour if
Which one of us is right about
exactly.
Pennsylvania? Okay. All right.
Is Senator Specter with 30 years still there, or is he bye-bye?
Okay. Bye-bye.
And that is,
It's a wrap.
that'll be interesting because I think that then goes across the board with the other contests. Then it'll be really true, and in my book it'll mean that the people who are supporting the Tea Parties have a little more energy and capability than I first believed. So generally, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching Talk with the Town, and we'll see you again next month. And by next month, we'll know for sure
Okay.
who is really right when it comes to political adjustments.
Okay. You got it there.
Okay.